I guess it's recording right now. It seems like it's moving fast too, but I was attempting to put this directly on the fight tour page that apparently I had my assistant kind of set up. So I had to make sure I'm the owner of my 2019 fight tour, but I could not go on. So first of all, thank you guys for coming on this page. This is obviously your girl Marquita Newbie, the Divas Empire Financial Life and Health Coach, and I'm so grateful. This is the day before our kickoff of this awesome 2019 fight tour. I am giddy. I am excited. I am honored. I am humbled. But I'm also, there's always that frustration. I don't want to say anger, but that growth. I feel like I've grown so much as a business owner. I feel like I've grown so much as a woman, as a independent, as a leader, as a fighter, right? So I've been asked so many times, where did the word fight come from? And I can tell you guys for honesty how many days and times I've been wanting to hop on here and get out of my comfort zone, knowing that this page will one day grow. It will bless people. It will encourage people. It will keep people focused. And it don't have to be perfect, right? So I've had moments where I'm like, oh no, I have on my bonnet, or maybe I wind down from the day, or I haven't physically got dressed for the day, because from the time I wake up, I'm on my phone, I'm on Messenger, responding to messages, emails, so forth. And I work from home 95% of the time. I've always had a physical, but I've never been one to be stuck or laid down in one individual spot. So I do quite a work from home to make sure I can keep the flow and the momentum going and not be stuck to a 9 to 5. But first question, why the fight tour? Second question, what's 10 cities? So first of all, there's the reason why I decided to the fight tour is because over the last maybe 5 years, we launched an initiative 5 years ago called Push to Prosperity, and with Push to Prosperity, that was all along the lines of helping people that already own organizations to help push their people towards prosperity. Now, when people think of prosperity, normally think of financial literacy. So that word obviously got us through the door. Once we took a meeting with the CEO or the decision maker, they realized we was more than a financial literacy company, but the reason why our company is called Moving Beyond Hope, because that's our goal, to move people beyond hope. And people normally get hope when they hear my story, whether they hear the story of me being homeless and riding the trains to Chicago at 14, rather than hearing the story that in my generation, I was one of the first to graduate high school just because the other ones didn't have necessarily those obstacles, or whether they heard the story of my 58 hospitalizations and over 7 ICUs, and me coding. I always put that in parentheses because normally medical people kind of know what coding means, but I think mostly everybody knows when they say code blue what's going on. But out of all the quote-unquote codes, I would say obviously the most scary time was February 28th, 2018, where I came from a whole day of working, fighting for my life, but also fighting for the clients, aka family members that we serve. I felt like it was a pretty typical day. We had already spent a couple of days with my mom, just because of the fact that my husband had some longer hours to do, and sometimes I get nervous if I'm by myself. So we was coming from my mom's house. I decided to stop at a client's house. And coincidentally enough, that client is one of the people that we're honoring because she experienced something very dramatic and traumatic, and rightly so. And that was the last time I actually got a chance to see her husband. So as I go home, I'm kind of just explaining to my husband about kind of the weird day, but how proud I am of what God is doing with our company and our team. And despite my health, we've been able to maintain and have one of our greatest years, which was 2018. So with that being said, it was after about 10:30, 11 o'clock, we made it home. After a quick RV stop, I wasn't hungry, but my husband likes to constantly feed me. And at that time, my husband was working 4 times. So I knew we had to get home, get settled, get my son settled so that he can go to school. Nevertheless, I guess that's the day that my life shifted, because that day is the day that my husband found me unresponsive. My 15-year-old son to call 911, and boom, 10 minutes later, I finally came to. They told him after 4 minutes I would be a vegetable. After 6 minutes, they're not even allowed to push. So how about that? So anyway, with that being said, though it was probably the most traumatic time of my family life, it was quite frankly probably the most peace I have felt on this health journey, the most excited that I've felt on this health journey. And I'm really, really excited to see what God is doing and what He's up to. And He gave me a peace. I never want to go too over, quote unquote, spiritually. I don't know if that's a such thing, but you tell that to the wrong person that you spend 10 minutes in heaven. They're like, girl, no, you died for 10 minutes. But rather on the physical manifestation, is that I was gone for 10 minutes. The question is, where was she gone for 10 minutes? You think about that, and it's things to make you go, because I did have strength like never before. And not only that, the doctors, after several days and medical-induced comas and all that stuff, still could not figure out why such a dramatic thing would happen. Don't get me wrong, cancer, carcinoid, as well as chronic fatigue syndrome could, take a person out. But for me, it was all spiritual. So nevertheless, I knew that I was going to live life from that point on with a different focus and a different intensity. I will say I'm one of those leaders that can admit, as also grow with this, is that I used to hear the word people pleaser, and I was just like, no, I'm too bold, too straight to be that. However, I can honestly say that before February 28th, and quite a bit, maybe a little bit of more of the 2018, I will admit to say that there was a little people pleasing in there. And what that means, sometimes I make more people more priority than my health, my family, whatever that story is, just to kind of live out my calling. And I do. And I don't believe that God called me to do things such as that, that drastic or and putting myself in danger anyway, so please don't confuse that. However, I do think that He has honored that sacrifice and how much my calling means for me, and that I truly just want to hear Him say at night, well done. So nevertheless, two crazy ideas came to my mind. They always say that if your dream is not big enough, make it so big that those who hear it laughs about it and it scares you. So those was the two criterias for whatever dream that I ultimately end up saying. And deciding to take single moms and their kids to Disney World without any help of fundraising or any help specifically of government grants, anything like that, without throwing a big event. God had literally created such a ram in a bush, and it was probably one of the greatest accomplishments of my career thus far. Definitely not going to be the greatest one in the career of the history, so I'm excited about that. But God made up the difference, and we was able to bless quite a bit of people. It was so magical. I must say, so I can clear this thing up, I have been to Disney plenty of times, as well as taking my son to Disney. However, I had not been able to go for years for my health, and due to that, I haven't necessarily was in a position to really think about next time I will be going. I will be bringing a busload of people. But I definitely count it worthy. I feel very excited about the decision. I thank God for it. And I feel honored once again to do it. So that was a crazy thing after finishing an 8-week summer camp. And that's a whole nother story. But then the Lord called me on a tour. The Lord called me on a tour because as I looked out on my Facebook and I looked out through people that I know all over the country and a couple of them out overseas in the world, I just thought about, man, it's so unfair that, one city who I feel is very blessed and definitely worthy. So, like I said, take this with a grain of salt. But I felt like having the privilege of knowing my story and encouraging people and also awarding people. I do know that it's very rare, for a person to get an award specifically just for doing what they do best. Like, what am I going to do? Give up? Of course I'm a fighter. But, you're not just a fighter, you encourage another fighter. And sometimes it's pretty difficult to encourage a fighter because they're so enthralled with their own fight. But I will say that I receive lots of fights from every last one of you, as well as people who don't even know. I be on people's Instagram page. I watch other people YouTube. I have so many coaches and so many adopted coaches that they will ever imagine. So that was always important. So when God kept putting that heavy on my heart, the number 10 is very close to me. That's a whole nother story. But I literally looked and saw in 10 cities, we literally have some movers every single one of these cities. So it was a no-brainer. So in conclusion, I'm so emotional. Like I said, my little fresh face Friday, no lashes, no makeup, no foundation. This is just me talking to little old CEO over here. But I wanted to mark this day. I wanted to mark April 6th because first and foremost, April 6th was going to be the day of our kickoff. And a lot of things had transpired over the last month. So I always was taught by my coaches that leaders know how to make decisions quickly, fast, and with confidence. And I'm going to have to live my truth if I'm going to fighters and be a fighter. Then that means I needed to fight. And I needed to fight for each one of you. So though it was a difficult task to even humbly make the call to say that it was a different location, let alone making the notification that's even a different day, I wanted this day to be so special for you guys. I wanted this day to be such a big deal that I, of course, was willing to do that at all costs, even that meant, affecting other locations as well as my health. Now, the good news is, just like Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac, and the Lord was really looking for his obedience rather than his sacrifice, I feel like that's the same thing God did. Like, he knew I would go hard. He knew I would go big. He knew I was sold out to the sacrifice. I'd do anything he called me to do because he did everything for me. And but he's so great, and he did provide that ram in the bush, and we was able to make those changes without ever changing the integrity of this fight to it, which is important to me. So this is officially more of a kickoff more than anything, because I know that there's so many locations that's waiting for us to come, and I will do that speedily. Plus, some people actually know of the great opportunity I got presented with Texas. So we are in 10 days to be in Texas, and we'll be traveling country for the next 6 months. So I will be leaving 2 weeks at a time to pull this thing off. So I do pray that every single person that gets the call, that gets the inbox, that they are honored, that they will respect that honor and appreciate that honor, as well as appreciate more than anything that this is part of it is bigger than you, that you are part of a really big initiative that's going to change a lot of people's lives. So of course it's a fundraiser. I wish I could do all this stuff for free, but I cannot, and I refuse to change the integrity of the calling God has on my life, as well as the results of me going on this 10-city tour and being able to bless everyone. I didn't expect me to get emotional, but then again, maybe I did expect maybe a little emotional, because when you love something and when you're sold out to something and when you're committed to something, obviously you're emotionally committed. I don't care how many times I say this is business, not take it personal. It's personal because it is personal, and because I know my heart. I only wanted to bless people. I wanted only to be there for people, and my phone notifying them at 5%. I don't know why every time I run out of I'm about to be on low percentages when I decide to go live. But anyway, I just thank everyone for ahead of time. Congratulations to all of our fighters. Congratulations to all the people who found inside that they are great, and that greatness and that knowing that they're great has given them hope. And I pray with that hope that called you to be tenacious, and with that tenacity, hopefully that gives you the endurance you need and the resilience you need to make things happen. Because literally, God is holding me to a higher standard. And what He's holding me to is, you're going to honor fighters and you're going to have a fight tour, then you need to fight. And baby, have I fought. And I will continue to fight, because what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And it's true. As much as I used to hate to say that, it's true. So anyway, I'm going to pop over here before my phone cut off. It's always dying. I'm on the phone morning, noon, and night. I felt like all day I was calling people and almost apologizing, even though God told me on my birthday in 2018 to live unapologetically. Don't talk about me, pray for me, because I'm still kind of walking in that truth. That apologizing for what? Apologizing for honoring people, apologizing for making necessary changes, apologizing for losing thousands and thousands of dollars. What are you apologizing for? You're doing this as unto God. You're doing this in honor of what God is called you to do. And so those who understand that and love that and support that will be there, and they will appreciate it, and they will help fundraise this thing, and they will push this initiative, and they would know the reality of it, and just maybe give them the benefit of doubt. They haven't been at their first event yet, so maybe they cannot see the forest for the tree. And these are things that I am given a pass on, because I'm a human, and I wish that I felt like I got a pass on. So I don't treat people as they treat me. I treat people as how I would like to be treated. So anyway, I love you. I'm a fighter. Don't let these tears fool you for a second. But what the tears are showing you is that I'm also a real person, and that I have vulnerable moments too. And I'm getting better in regards to being amazed how people can make decisions, even though it may affect you affect the other person or other people. They got to do what's best for them and their family and their peace of mind and their sanity. And kudos to you, because that means you have mastered something. I'm sorry, this necklace is so pretty and I love it, and I don't want it to fall all the way down, but that just means that you conquered and figured out some things that I've yet to figure out. That's all. So I'm getting better and stronger and walking in that truth. Shout out to my Superman. Shout out to my awesome dream team and my team that came in all the way from Chicago just to be here and support and get to work. I appreciate you. And to all of my other cities, I'm coming. I promise you it will be your best night ever. We're going to celebrate you. We're going to red carpet you. We're going to elevate you. We are going to give you the due diligence that you deserve, okay? And I promise you, I will continue to come on this page as well as my personal page. So this will be on both pages, so that I am constantly, my presence is there to help you and to encourage you to stop. If a little girl with an oxygen tank that she wears on her back, that's worth about, I think, 5 pounds or so, and can be hospitalized and still have to take close to 17 different medicines and still have to do treatments, and yet can pull off a tour as well as an event, please, instead of you seeing this as a what, me bragging or anything of that nature, see it as me saying you can do this too. I admire those who have the health and the support and the means to live out their truth and their dream. I admire you, but I don't envy you, because I don't covet anybody. That's not only is a commandment, it's just not a good look, okay? So understand, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is congratulations to all of you who got it all figured out apparently, but also kudos to all of my fighters. I personally read lots of people nominations, and it touched me, it blessed me hearing your story. And a lot of you guys in Northeast Ohio, I chose you personally. And I love you who's coming to do and watch this kickoff. I love you. I'm excited for you. I'm grateful for you. Congratulations. This is your time. And whatever you do, no matter who you are, you can be a guest of a fighter. It doesn't mean you're not a fighter. It doesn't mean that you can have an award to say you're the fighter of the year and not. You can be 2019 fighter of the year by choosing to fight this year and every year after that. But take this thing year by year, month by month, week by week, day by day, and sometimes, baby, hour by hour. Listen, bust that crap. It's 60 minutes in an hour, and literally 60 things can happen in an hour. I know that. I walked in this all the way down to Sister Greg. Never had her nails done in a long time. I own a nail shop. But yet, I've given it all for this. So know that. I know it's 20 minutes. YouTube give you a little bit more leverage than maybe you see it on Facebook. But then again, they may have already cut it off. But those who haven't, I ask you to do 3 favors for me. Comment below and let me know what's your fighter award. What is the word that describes you most as a fighter? That's the first thing. The second thing that I want you to do, mine is more than conqueror. So I have a couple of guests that's coming in from Columbus, and they heard my podcast and started following me. So they're going to be here, and I so appreciate them. So they're my VIP guests, so my word is conqueror. But what is your word? And then, of course, the other request I have is subscribe to us and keep all updated with all the great things that's happening, because there are great things happening. God is up to something big, and the best is yet to come. And then the third thing, share this video, because we want to encourage others. Do not stop. Do not give up. Do not second guess yourself. And nobody can own your dream but you. Nobody can actually tell you how far to push or what to do to fulfill your dream. That's why it's your dream. It's not our dream. It's not anybody else's dream. The parent company of me is it's your time. I don't even talk about it's my time. I don't even talk about it's our time. I'm actually saying to you personally, it's your time. How do you know, Marquita? Because I'm talking to you. And if nothing else, this little girl believed in her prayers. And the prayer that I had from God was, don't let them come in contact with me if it's not their time. So I know it is. Romans 8:28, Jeremiah 29:11. Look those 2 up, live by them all. Proverbs 3:5-6. So take those scriptures, live by them, because they became my saving grace. And like I said, subscribe. Fight. Share, as well as comment the word that you use to get through that best describe you as a fighter. I love you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations, you guys. Yes, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't talk about me. Pray for me. But this is all for you. I still have several hours to get it done and finish. But God knows I'm grateful that I ain't letting nobody ICU. I will take this journey and these things any day than me experiencing the hospitalizations I've experienced, my God, as also all the crazy crap that has happened in my life. But chapter 37, I'm all about celebrating and remembering